This is the story of Eric, the hero. Eric. Have you ever done something stupid? I'm sure you have. I know I have. I've done lots of stupid things, and I've been called all kinds of names. I've been called a nit, and a twerp, and a dimwit. But I don't think I was ever that stupid. I may have been a bit slow sometimes, and clumsy too. And there are lots of things that I'm not very good at. But you can't be good at everything, can you? And sometimes it takes a while to find out what you are good at. It did with me. This is the story of Eric, who was a little bit like me. He seemed to be no good at anything, and was called so many names that he came to believe that he really was a twit, and a nitwit, and a dummy, and a dunce, and a dope. I know exactly how he felt. There have been days when it seemed that I hadn't a single friend, and that no one in the whole wide world cared much about me. Well, so it was with Eric. One day, he felt so miserable that he ran away. And he wasn't even very good at that, the running part at least. He soon grew tired and began to walk. He was dawdling along, swishing a stick at the wayside nettles, when all of a sudden he heard a shout. "Monster!" came the cry from somewhere up ahead. "Run for your lives! There's a huge monster, and it's come down from the mountains." A woodcutter came rushing out of the wood, and suddenly all around, people began to run for their lives, fleeing across the fields towards the castle of the king. Eric turned and ran with them. And as the people ran, they felt the ground shake, and they heard the stomp, stomp, stomp of the monster's steps, and they all ran faster. Someone said, "Help! Whatever will become of us? Who will save us?" And someone else said, "Where's a hero when you need one?" And someone else said, "A hero? Huh! You'd need to be a twit to go and fight that monster. It's absolutely enormous." And others said, "Yes, he'd need to be a nitwit, and a dummy, and a dunce, and a dope." And they all ran faster. But Eric stopped, and he thought, "I'm a twit, and I'm a nitwit, and a dummy, and a dunce, and a dope. Perhaps I'm a hero. Perhaps that's what I'm good at." And because he was never afraid to try anything, he turned and he stood there, waiting for the monster. And the stomp, stomp, stomp of the monster's steps grew louder and louder. And all the people ran faster and faster, until at last they reached the castle of the king. And when they were all safely inside, and the drawbridge was pulled up, and they were all standing, watching from the battlements, the king said, "Who's that down there?" And everybody looked and saw a little figure standing all alone. And they said, "What does he think he's doing? The twit? He's a nitwit. He's a dummy, and a dunce, and a dope." But Eric's mother cried, "No, he's not. He's my little Eric." And she called out, "Quick, Eric, Eric, come up here before it's too late." But it was too late. For there was the monster, crashing through the wood, smashing at the trees with an uprooted trunk, and crunching rocks and boulders with his great stomping feet. On and on he came, stomp, 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 until he spied a little figure standing all alone. And then he stopped, and he looked down at Eric. And Eric looked up at the monster and said, "You'd better watch out, monster. I'm a twit, and I'm a nitwit, and I'm a dummy, and a dunce, and a dope. So there." And then something very strange happened. The monster looked ever so sad and said in a deep, mournful voice, "So am I." And he laid down the uprooted tree trunk, and he sat down, and with a great sigh, he said, "At least that's what all the other monsters say. I'm no good at anything. I can't flatten a mountain with my fist. I can't howl at the moon and make the stars tremble. I can't swallow a grizzly bear whole. I'm a hopeless monster. And all the others laugh at me. So I ran away and came down here, and I wonder if there's anyone in the whole wide world who cares. I don't think I've got a single friend." A great tear welled up in the monster's eye and fell with a splash. Eric stepped over the puddle and went right up to the monster and gave his foot a little pat and said, "I'll be your friend." "Will you?" replied the monster. "Yes, I will. And I think you're a brilliant monster. You really scared everybody round here. They all ran for their lives." "Did they?" "Yes, they did. And now they're all hiding in that castle over there." "Are they? Oh dear. I didn't really mean to scare them. I didn't scare you, did I?" Eric shook his head. "Oh no, you didn't scare me. But that's because I'm a hero. And do you know what? Everybody agreed he was." The end.